public school, bake sales for the volunteer fire department, choosing instead to stay holed up in that grand house that nobody except the coroner has ever seen in person. They have money, which generally excuses everything short of homicide, but it doesn't come from either coal or tobacco, and nobody seems able to marry into it. The Starling family tree is a maddening sprawl of grafted limbs and new shoots, full of out-of-towners and strangers who turned up at the front gates and claimed the Starling name without ever setting foot in Eden itself. It's generally hoped that both they and their house will fall into a sinkhole and rot at the bottom, neither mourned nor remembered, and, perhaps, release the town from its century-long curse. I don't believe in curses, but if there was such a thing as an accursed town, it would look an awful lot like Eden, Kentucky. It used to be the #1 coal county in the nation, but now it's just a strip-mined stretch of riverbank containing a power plant, a fly ash pond, and $2 generals. It's the kind of place where the only people who stay are the ones who can't afford to leave, where the water tastes like rust and the mist rises cold off the river even in the summertime, lingering in the low places well past noon. Since nobody would tell me the story of Starling House, I made up my own. There isn't a lot to do in a town like Eden, and I didn't have many friends my own age. You're never going to be very popular when you wear clothes from the first Christian donation box and shoplift your school supplies, no matter how slick your smile is. The other kids sensed the hunger behind the smile and avoided me, out of an animal certainty that, if we were all shipwrecked together, I'd be found 6 weeks later picking my teeth with their bones. So I spent a lot of weekends sitting cross-legged on the motel mattress with my little brother, making up haunted house stories, until both of us were so thoroughly spooked we'd scream at the sound of a doorknob turning 3 rooms down. I used to type up the best ones in the secret hours after midnight, when Jasper was asleep and Mom was out, but I never sent them anywhere. I quit all that years ago anyway. Footnote: this is false. Between 2006 and 2009, Opal used the staff printer at the public library to print several pieces of short fiction. In 2008, she received a personal rejection from a literary magazine which said that, regrettably, they did not publish fantasy, horror, or whatever this is supposed to be. I told Mom about the dreams once. She laughed. If I'd read that damn book as many times as you, I'd have nightmares too. For my 4th or 5th birthday, Mom got me a copy of The Underland, one of the old 19th century editions, the cover bound in cloth the color of cobwebs, the title sewn in silver. It was secondhand, probably stolen, and somebody else's initials were written on the inside cover, but I'd read it so many times the pages were coming unsewn. The story is pretty paint by numbers. A little girl, Nora Lee, discovers another world, Underland, and hallucinatory adventures ensue. The illustrations aren't great either. They're a series of stark lithographs that fall somewhere between eerie and nightmarish. But I remember staring at them until their after-images lingered on the insides of my eyelids. Black landscapes, stalked by spectral beasts, pale figures lost among the tangled trees, little girls falling down into the secret places under the earth. Looking at them felt like stepping into someone else's skull, someone who knew the same things I knew, that there were sharp teeth behind every smile, and bare bones waiting beneath the pretty skin of the world. I used to trace the author's name with my fingertip, draw it idly in the margins of my C+ schoolwork. E. Starling. She never published another book. She never gave a single interview. The only thing she left behind, other than the Underland, was that house, hidden in the trees. Maybe that's the real reason I was so obsessed with it. I wanted to see where she came from, prove to myself that she was real. I wanted to walk through her secret architecture, run my fingers over her wallpaper, see her curtains flutter in the breeze, and believe for a moment.